One thing that's really important to remember is in order for something to accelerate, something else has to decelerate.
But there's one key piece to creating more speed in your swing that I think a lot of people miss out on, and it's not how do we accelerate more, it's really how do we decelerate better. Because as I'm rotating through, the faster I go here, my body has to be able to control that and stop that at some point. So as I'm rotating my hips to get this club moving, once I get to a certain point, my hips have to stop and then let this all come flying through.
Many times golfers will take the club away from the golf ball quickly. We don't want to be accelerating on the backswing. On the backswing, we want to keep it nice and smooth. And then also, many times you see acceleration from the top. You see a lot of golfers get to the top and then really make a quick move from their backswing as they start their downswing.
Why is this bad? The early acceleration of the golf club in the downswing? Simply because it blocks the hip and the chest rotation. Physiologically, you can only turn your hips when your upper body is passive. You can only turn your upper body when your arms are passive. The moment that the arms start to hit, they need resistance and they press against the chest and the hips and stop their rotation. So the reason that you stop and get your chicken wings going on is not because your hips aren't capable of turning, your chest isn't capable of turning, it's because you've actually accelerated the club too early.
First one is with a med ball, and this is for our pelvis and upper body. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the med ball in the sternum. This is to stabilize the shoulders, the scapulars, so that it's an upper body turn as opposed to a shoulder movement. And I've set the K-Vest audio feedback tone on, which will tell me when my hips on the way down have reached an optimum position to be in, at which point then I've then got to fire my upper body to fast enough to stabilize my lower body. So in slow motion we're looking at this. So that's the motion that we're looking for, and the aim is to progressively get faster and faster. So as you work on this more, you'll be able to become aware of which muscles, how much pressure you're having to put into the floor with your lead side foot to stabilize the lower body as you rotate the upper body. So do this in, say, 3 sets of 10 reps. Start off gently and then build up. So this next exercise brings the arms into the sequence. And to do this we use a towel. I've got an object here, bag. You can use a wall or chair or something to hit. And this exercise will really encourage the movement pattern to flow from the lower body, upper body, and then to the arms. So we'll do 3 sets of 10, building up gradually to kind of really get the feeling of the movement pattern. So it looks like this. Now, to really get the energy out of you and into the end of the towel, this exercise really gives you the sensation of the decelerating factors in the pelvis, upper body, and then finally in the arms to get that release.
So putting foam, you know, slider underneath my right foot, and then when I'm hitting the ball, I'm pushing down on that and stopping the hip from accelerating through the ball.
All right, so getting a little bit of obviously load and also get some deceleration of the hips. Fantastic. So we got one drill that we got here for you, guys at home. We're going to take any kind of weight. We're going to take a medicine ball drill here. And what we're going to have is we're going to actually have the ball right up into the chest. So one, it stabilizes the shoulder so that we can get some stabilization up in there. And from here, we're going to actually just get a slight little bit of load, and we're going to drive that right foot in and slam the ball down in there. Go ahead and give that a try. Fantastic, good. Let's go ahead and give that another try. So you see here what's happening is her lower body is able to stabilize and of course get some deceleration and also getting a good feel about closing that gap.
Called the waggle hit, okay? It's called the waggle hit because you pretty much are doing just your basic waggle. A waggle is what players do beforehand to loosen up. You can see when I waggle, I bend my right wrist, I hinge my left, and my right elbow goes into the inside of my right hip and touches it as I get to the top of my waggle. The top of my waggle would be about parallel to the ground. So all we do is we waggle to that position, turn our hips and clear, and then knock the ball right down the fairway there. So here we are at address, waggle, clear, and boy, I could feel myself trap that ball right against the turf.
Get your short iron, set up over the golf ball. We're going to take this club and hinge it. And if we unhinge it, we're going to hit the ground right here, okay? So now I want you to feel like you can use your body, your left leg to help you come out of the ground in an upward motion. Your left shoulder works up and the club works down. So you'll do a little feel of hinge, hinge, accelerate.
더 빨리 들러.
Maybe just make a swing with your trail hand, in this case my right hand. I'm slow on the way back, slow from the top, and I want to hear the acceleration after the golf ball on the through swing. So it's slow back, slow from the top, and feel like I'm accelerating through the shot.
So one of my favorite drills to work on this is what I call the 1/3, 2/3 drill, where you're going to take it back 1/3 and follow through 2/3. So that was a quarter of a backswing. Now if I go to half of a backswing, I'm going to try to follow through to right about here. So here's how it's done. I'm going to go ahead and hit a shot and just show you here. We're going to do the 1/3, 2/3 and try to accelerate all the way through. And you see that worked out pretty well. Now we're going to go just a little bit longer, but the same thing, halfway back and a little bit further through on the follow through. And as long as I keep my follow through feeling a little bit longer, I'm not going to decel. Now,
So where do you accelerate? It's through the golf ball. So again, I'm gonna hit one for you here. My setup, I'm gonna take a slow on the way back, and I'm also gonna be nice and smooth or slow from the top and feel that club accelerate on the way through the golf ball.